President Trump is set to meet with world leaders again today, specifically from the UK, Jordan, and Egypt today, among others. This after the president delivered a forceful speech yesterday defending his America First foreign policy and threatening North Korea.
No nation on earth has an interest in seeing this band of criminals arm itself with nuclear weapons and missiles. The United States has great strength and patience. But if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime. The United States is ready, willing, and able, but hopefully this will not be necessary.
Joining us right now to weigh in on that is former Deputy Chief of Staff to President George W. Bush, Fox News contributor Karl Rove. Karl, good to see you, sir. Thanks so much for joining us. Your thoughts on the president's address?
Well delivered, also conventional. I think a lot of people in that body were concerned that America First meant American isolationism, and that's not what they heard yesterday. There's actually a pretty good piece this morning by Ramesh Ponnur of the National Review on Bloomberg, in which he points out that the president made 4 points. We're going to exercise our American sovereignty in concert with our allies. We're going to provide humanitarian assistance where needed. The UN is important, but it's desperately in need of reform. And we're going to take on rogue regimes that are anathema to American interests and American values. Now, those are very mainstream views. Now, he was blunt and colorful in his description of North Korea and Venezuela and Iran, but this was something that I suspect a lot in the audience were not they were expecting to hear the bluster, but they weren't expecting to hear the core framework, which was very much America is going to lead and America is going to stand for its interests and its values.
Karl, do you think this was a message to the Chinese that we're not necessarily going to rely on the UN sanctions, and if they don't abide by them, we are going to go on our own, and we're going to make sure that we protect our interests because America is no longer leading from behind, as you alluded to?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, the North Korean policy, I'm a little bit concerned that he's getting into the place of laying down a red line. If you continue to threaten us, we're going to destroy you. That right. America's not a preemptive power. But, yes, I think this was something of a message to the Chinese that you better get serious about this because we're serious about this. And this is laying the predicate, I think, for the administration to take actions that are going to be very tough. We have now sanctioned everybody who's doing business, companies that are directly doing business with North Korea. Now, I think he's laying the predicate for sanctioning the businesses that are doing business with the businesses that are trading with North Korea, and that's going to make the Chinese very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and that's been a message that he's been delivering recently, even Stephen Mnuchin, too. Here's this breaking news, Karl. I want to get your reaction. The president just tweeted this. Rand Paul is a friend of mine, but he is such a negative force when it comes to fixing health care. Graham Cassidy bill is great. Ends Obamacare. Karl Rove, this tweet just coming from the president. What are your thoughts here? Negative force when it comes to fixing health care.
Yeah, well, I'm in agreement with the president. I'm writing my column for the Wall Street Journal tomorrow on this issue of Graham Cassidy. And it's interesting. Rand Paul, who wants to get rid of Obamacare, looks like he is going to vote against the last chance that the Republicans have to get rid of Obamacare for at least a year. And Graham Cassidy kills the individual mandate, removes the employer mandate, kills the medical tax, gets rid of the entire structure of Obamacare subsidies, phases them out, and replaces them by taking that money and giving it to states to figure out how to solve the problem of the people who do not have health insurance who are in those states with a program that's designed by the people of the state. The governor of Kentucky is in favor of this bill because he wants to be able to design a program that meets the needs of his state, and he's sick and tired of being dictated to by Washington. Yeah. The Obamacare program is so badly broken that 20% of the American people live in 4 states, California, Maryland, Massachusetts, and New York, and they get 40% of the money. That's how bad this program is. And yet now we're going to have an equal amount for every state.
We had a Democratic congressman on a minute ago, Dagan, and what did he say? He called it a tax cut for the rich.
An $800 billion tax cut for the rich, which is just a patent lie, Carl. Period.
Is this just something
Absolutely.
that they just put on every policy?
Look.
Just call it a tax cut for the rich? Just keep saying it?
Yeah, well, look, let's be clear. It is a tax cut. It is a tax cut for people who have to have their hip replaced or have to have a heart device implanted, because it's killing the tax on medical devices, which is ultimately paid by sick people who need to have a medical device. So, you know, the Democrats have no interest in doing anything to, quote, save Obamacare. They want to continue to have it in place exactly as is. The Republicans ought to, including Senator Paul, ought to use this opportunity to kill Obamacare. This kills the Obamacare program at a national level and says, we'll take that money and give it to you, the state, to figure out how to solve the problem of the poor without health insurance.
We have 10 seconds. Will they have the votes here?
I don't know. Read my column tomorrow morning.
All right, we will. Karl Rove, thank you so much, sir.